So big! Garden Critters.
Hi, library friends. It's me, Miss Cat. Welcome back to So Big. So this week and the next 4 So Big programs, we're going to be talking and singing and reading all about garden critters. Hello, how are you? Let's sing our Hello, How Are You song, where we talk about how we are good, or great, or hopefully wonderful. Let's go. Hello, 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 how are you? Hello, 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 how are you? I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. I'm good, I'm great, I'm wonderful. Are you wonderful today? Before we start our story, I want to show you something. Do you remember some of you planted mini greenhouses and you had a bean plant started? This is my bean plant, and look what's growing on my bean plant. I have string beans. Do you see them? Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, and it looks like another one back here. Here it is under the leaves. 4 little string beans growing. They're going to get bigger, and when they get big enough, I can pick them and eat them. Do any of you have string beans growing on your bean plant yet? You'll have to let me know. So, the first garden critter we're going to talk about today are worms. Earthworms. This is what an earthworm looks like. Have you seen any of them in your garden or in your yard? They're wriggly, squiggly creatures. And they tunnel all through the ground underneath your plants in the garden. And they help fluff up the soil so that the roots can reach down and have room to spread out and grow, and so that water can filter down through the soil so the roots of your plants can drink the water up. Worms are helpful garden critters. They help our garden. And as they tunnel underground, the soil goes through their long, squiggly, wriggly bodies, and it comes out the other end, and we call that worm castings. You might have seen these little piles of, they almost look like little mud piles or little mud balls. Those are called worm castings. Can you see those? And that is evidence or proof that there has been a worm tunneling underground. Worm castings. When you see those, you know you have some earthworms around. I have a story today about an earthworm. His name is Carl. But before we read it, let's get our wiggles out. Ready? I wiggle my fingers, I wiggle my toes, I wiggle my shoulders, I wiggle my nose. Now no more wiggles are left in me. I'm as still can be. Our story today is called Carl and the Meaning of Life. And this story is by Deborah Friedman. Carl and the Meaning of Life. Do you see Carl, the earthworm? Carl was not a bird. Carl was not a bear or a beaver. Carl was an earthworm. He lived underground, moving always moving, burrowing, tunneling, digesting dead leaves, feasting and casting, turning hard dirt into fluffy soil day after day. Why? Asked a field mouse gathering seeds. Why do you do that? Why? Carl did not know why, but now he needed to find out. So Carl stopped making fluffy soil. I'll be right back, he told the field mouse. He spotted a rabbit. Maybe she knew. Why do I do what I do? He asked her. Oh, goodness dear, she said, I do not know. I do what I do for my babies. But Carl did not have babies. Do you see all the bunny babies? They look like they're having fun jumping around. A fox appeared. Carl turned to the fox. Why do I do what I do? Asked Carl. Who do I do it for? Look at that. That's a praying mantis. That's another garden critter. A helpful garden critter because the praying mantis eats pesky bugs. For whom? Replied the fox. Alas, my meal awaits. I am here for the hunt. But Carl did not want to hunt. You see the butterfly? Why are you talking to a fox? Cried a squirrel. Carl was startled. Because the field mouse is waiting and wants to know what I am here for. The squirrel declared, I'm here to plant trees. Trees are where I sleep. But Carl could not sleep, not high in a tree, and not without an answer for the mouse. He pushed on. And on. Hours turned into days until the soil was no longer fluffy. The ground around Carl turned barren and dry, while he continued to search. So Carl asks the deer, what? He asks the raccoon, who? And he asks the bat, why? He's trying to find out his purpose. And here he is. Sigh. Still looking for his answer. But the birds had flown off to find grasses and fluff. The bear trundled away to look for berries. Soon there was nobody left to talk to. What about me? Called Carl. The clouds were silent. So was the air. I will never find out, he sniffled. Then Carl heard his sniffle echo, followed by a squeak. Who made that squeak? I can't find any grubs, a voice cried. It was the saddest ground beetle he had ever seen. Carl peeked under a stone. No grubs. Grubs are like little worms that this beetle eats. Then he poked at the dirt. It was hard, like a rock. Where was his fluffy soil? Well, let me ask you, why do you think the soil is not fluffy anymore? Maybe because he hasn't been tunneling around underground, making it fluffy, right? He's busy on his quest to find out his purpose. Suddenly, Carl knew what he needed to do. I'll be back, he promised. For hours into days, weeks into months, Carl munched digested, left castings, and tunneled, and turned that hard dirt back into rich soil. Look, the grass is starting to grow again, because if you look here, it's just hard soil. No grass is growing. Nothing is green. But after Carl left his tunnels and made the soil fluffy again, now the grass can start to grow and seeds can sprout. "You made my seeds grow," said the mouse. Clover blossomed once again, and the rabbit came back with her kits. Kits are baby rabbits. The squirrel returned to plant new trees. The fox was lured by the hunt, all of them able to do what they do. How? Well, why not ask Carl? So Carl had to figure out what his job was, how he could be helpful, and he figured it out. To fluff up the soil. It's a very important job. I know a song about worms, and I have a friend who's going to help us sing it. Ah! Hi, Mr. Worm. Should we sing a song about worms? Okay. Now, some of you might not know this, but when it rains and the ground gets very wet, sometimes the worms crawl up and out looking for a higher ground or drier ground. So sometimes after it rains, you might see worms on the sidewalk or on your path, and that's because they're trying to get somewhere dry. And in this song, we sing about that too. Okay, you guys ready? You ready? All right. Goes like this. There are worms in the garden underground. There are worms, and they tunnel all around. And they wriggle and they giggle, they help the garden grow. When the rain comes down, they come up to say hello. Worms, 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 worms. Worms, worms, worms in the garden. Worms, 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 worms. Worms, worms, worms in the ground. Again? Okay. There are worms in the garden underground. There are worms, and they tunnel all around. And they wriggle and they giggle and they help the garden grow. When the rain comes down, they come up to say hello. Worms, 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 worms. Worms, worms, worms in the garden. Worms, 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 worms. Worms, worms, worms in the ground. Good singing! Right? All right. All right, Mr. Worm. Will you come back next week and help us sing a little bit? You will? Okay. Well, we'll see you next week. Do you want to say goodbye to the children? All right. Bye! Bye, Mr. Worm. He needs to go back in the ground. Hey, so we have some songs about some other garden creatures or critters that you might have seen before. Has anybody ever seen this critter? That is a ladybug, and you can tell it's a ladybug because it's red and it has black spots. Do you see the black spots? Yes. These are ladybugs, and they're very helpful insects or critters because they eat something in the garden called aphids. And I have a picture here of a ladybug eating an aphid. Do you see that green, juicy aphid? Well, ladybugs just love green, juicy aphids. So this ladybug is eating the aphids. Aphids will eat your garden plants. So they help us because they keep the aphids from eating our garden plants. And they make a nice snack of them. And I want to show you a picture of a baby ladybug. So if you see this in your garden, don't shoo it away or kill it. This is a baby ladybug. This is going to turn into the ladybug with the black spots on the shell. But it looks, oh, here you go, you can see it there. It looks a little different. And that's also a helpful bug. And this little baby ladybug will eat the nasty, pesky aphids too. So those are some helpful bugs for your garden. We want them. In fact, sometimes people buy ladybugs. Yes, you know that? You can buy them. And they release them in their garden to help the ladybugs eat the pesky bugs. And if you've ever seen a ladybug fly, it opens up its wings like that, and the shell opens up and the wings pop out, and that's how it flies. So for our next song, we're going to make the motion of a ladybug opening its shell and letting its wings out while we sing the song Helpful Ladybug. Can you make this motion like a ladybug opening its shell? Good. Let's sing Helpful Ladybug. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. Good. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. Fly high up in the sky. Hey, helpful ladybug. Fly down low in the garden. Hey, helpful ladybug. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. You help me in my garden. Hey, helpful ladybug. You eat up pesky aphids. Hey, helpful ladybug. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. Hey, helpful lady, lady. Hey, helpful ladybug. Good job! I hope that you find some ladybugs in your garden because you know that they're going to be there to help you. Now I want to show you a picture of another garden critter, but this one is not so helpful. Who knows what this is? Very good, that's a grasshopper. And grasshoppers have very strong legs and they can jump very far. But they also are very hungry and they can eat up all of your vegetables and leaves in your garden. Sometimes flowers too. Whatever looks tasty, they'll eat. So they're not so helpful. But they're still fun to look at and they're fun to watch when they jump around. And they're fun to sing about. And in this song, you get to get up out of your seat or get off your chair and hop like a grasshopper. Can you all stand up and practice hopping? Hop, hop. Good, let me see a big hop. Okay, so when we sing the words hop, 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 you can hop. Would you like to try this one? I knew you'd like it. It goes like this. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Your legs are so strong, your jump is so long. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Good. Now let's sing the next verse. Green grasshopper, chomp, chomp, chomp. Green grasshopper, chomp, chomp, chomp. I know you're hungry, but leave the veggies for me. Green grasshopper, chomp, chomp, chomp. Did you make a chomping motion with your hand like you were eating leaves? You're a hungry grasshopper and you're eating the leaves? Good. Now let's go back to the first one where we get up and we hop. Okay. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Your legs are so strong, your jump is so long. Green grasshopper, hop, hop, hop. Great hopping. Let's talk about another helpful garden critter. Let's see if you know what this one is. You know what that is? I'll give you a hint. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yes, it's a bee. Bees are helpful because they fly from flower to flower and they collect something on their bodies called pollen. This is a bee that's covered with a yellow powder called pollen. And when the bee flies from flower to flower, pollen from one flower gets on another one and it helps it to grow and form fruits and vegetables. That's how bees are helpful. I have a song about bees, and I have a little bee friend to help us sing it. Let's get my little bee friend here together. Here he is. And when he's being helpful, he buzzes, buzz, 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 buzzes around and buzzes from flower to flower and helps spread that pollen, right? So this is called Dancing Bumblebee. I'm a happy, snappy, fuzzy, buzzy, dancing bumblebee. If you want to have some fun, then buzz along with me. We'll buzz around the garden, flowers flying on the breeze, pollinating vegetables, fruits, and all the trees. I'm a happy, snappy, fuzzy, buzzy, dancing bumblebee. Let's sing it again. I am a happy, snappy, fuzzy, buzzy, dancing bumblebee. If you want to have some fun, then buzz along with me. We'll buzz around the garden, flowers flying on the breeze, pollinating vegetables, fruits, and all the trees. I'm a happy, snappy, fuzzy, buzzy, dancing bumblebee. Can you say that? Happy, snappy, fuzzy, buzzy, dancing bumblebee. Who can make a buzzing sound like a bee? Buzz, 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 buzz. Good job. All right, Mr. Bee. Time for you to go and pollinate some flowers and trees and vegetables. We'll see you next time. Another garden critter that you may have noticed. Well, actually, you might not have noticed the critter, but you might have seen his silvery, slimy trails through the garden. This is a snail. So let me tell you, snails will crawl around the garden and eat all of your lettuce and some of your fruits and vegetables. So tell me, is the snail a helpful garden critter or a pesky garden critter? You're right, because if something comes and eats all your fruits and vegetables and flowers, then they're pesky. And this guy is pesky. But he's still cute, right? We have a little counting poem called 5 Garden Snails. And you can help me count them. Here are my garden snails. I put them on my arm. Can you see them? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 garden snails sleeping in the sun. Along came a yellow bird and flew away with one. How many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 garden snails sleeping in the sun. Along came a purple bird and flew away with one. Let's see how many are left. 1, 2, 3. 3 garden snails sleeping in the sun. Along came a, what color is that? Yes, red bird. And flew away with one. How many are left? 1, 2. 2 garden snails sleeping in the sun. Along came a green bird. Whoop! And flew away with one. How many are left? Just one. 1 garden snail sleeping in the sun. Along came a bluebird, and then there were none. All gone. Hey, would you like to come with me and see if there are some worms in my garden? Okay, let's go. So this is my compost pile, and this is where we put all the fruit and vegetable peels so that they can turn back into soil. But if you look underneath, we might find some worms. Let's turn it over a little bit. I have to turn it over in order for the old fruits and vegetables to turn back into soil. You have to mix it up occasionally. You can see my old oranges and watermelon. You see any worms? Oh, wait. Ah, look. There's a worm. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Oh, here's one. See the worm? They help break down all the old fruits and vegetables into beautiful soil. Let's see if we see some more. Oh, there's one. Let's see. Oh, this looks like a wiggly one. Let's see if I can put him on my shovel. Oh, he's little. Here, you want to hold him? Is he wiggling? Oh. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He wants to get back into the dirt. Hi, Mr. Worm. All right, put him back so he doesn't get scared. Want to find one more? Let's see if we can find a baby. I bet you there's some on the other side. Okay, this side is almost fully turned to dirt. So, oh, there's a baby. Can you put him on your glove to show everybody? Look how tiny. Do you see the baby worm? Oop. There he is. Oh, he's being shy. He's saying, where am I? Put me back in the ground. Okay, put him back. Bye, worms. We'll let them finish their job of turning this all into beautiful soil. We found a lot of worms, didn't we? They were all wiggly and wriggly and giggly. For our last song, we're going to sing about butterflies. Butterflies are garden critters that are also helpful. They fly from flower to flower, and they also get pollen, just like the bee, on their feet, and they spread it from flower to flower. And they're also so beautiful to watch fly in the breeze. Can you make the butterfly sign with your hands? You take your two hands and you hook your thumbs together, and then you move your fingers like butterfly wings. We can do this sign and make our hands fly like butterflies when we sing the next song. And we sing, fly, fly, butterfly, fly, fly, butterfly, fly, fly, butterfly, fly up in the sky so high. Now make them flitter a little faster. Flitter, flitter, butterfly, flitter, flitter, butterfly, flitter, flitter, butterfly, flitter and fly up in the sky. Flitter, flitter. I'm gonna make my butterfly land. Oh. Well, everyone, So Big is over for this week. I hope you'll join me again in the next few So Big sessions. We're going to be reading more stories about garden critters and singing our garden critter songs and saying our garden critter poems. And the next time we meet for So Big, we're going to have a fun watercolor garden snail craft. Hope to see you then. Bye!